So this has been a long time coming. I've decided now to actually explain how Shak therapy works, how to implement it, how to do it, and I'd like your feedback as well. A lot of people watch my videos, and like I said before, I get keyboard warriors, trolls. They demean everything that I've worked to help people with. Either side of me now, you can see the book that I've written called Shak Stroke Therapy. It explains everything, how to do a therapy, how to implement Shak. There's I was asked a question yesterday. Is it Does it work on every single person? That's impossible. It's impossible. Every single operation that takes place in a hospital, there have got to be some percentages. My percentages fall on the condition of the patient. Basically, the person that's had the stroke, the survivor, if they've had such damage, immense damage to the brain, that it's caused what you call receptive aphasia, which means they're not understanding anything what's being said to them. I can speak as I'm speaking now. I have a Yorkshire accent. I'm from Hull in England, so my accent will be quite strange to a lot of people in different parts of the world. But I can speak to a person who the day before was compos mentis. Suddenly they've had a stroke, and now suddenly they can't understand a word I'm saying. It goes into their head, into their ears, as gibberish. That's called receptive aphasia. If they have expressive aphasia, then there's the chance of me getting through and helping them has greatly improved. I would say 70 to 80%. Now, I see people who have had a stroke or some head trauma years previous, and they've been through every form of therapy they can possibly imagine they can go to. And then suddenly, this Shak stroke therapy is brought to their attention. And then suddenly they're saying, no, I don't want no false promises, which is fine. False promises, I can understand. I get that a lot. But these aren't false promises, these are real. I can and I will help as many people as I possibly can. Now, I see some people improve quite dramatically. I see some people recover 100% right before my very eyes. And even after all these years I've been doing it, it's still nice. It's rewarding to see these people, improving and even getting better. Now, initially they're dubious, they're skeptical, and I don't mind skeptics at all. Skeptics are fine. You can be as skeptical as you like, but please have an open mind. Let Shak therapy do its thing. I've helped people who have been taken off the curriculum. They've been put into a home and being deemed as going to be a cabbage for the rest of their life, and they're untreatable. I've been invited to these homes by the people who have bought my book and tried the Shak therapy, but then they've said, "Well, I don't know how to do it. Maybe it's me." So I've gone to the same place to go see these people, and I've done a Shak therapy on people who are in a deep coma, and I see REM. REM is the movement of their eyes. I see REM, and I'm thinking I'm in there. And one person I went to see um, in Hull, it's round about 2000 and I don't know really, maybe 2020, 2019. His wife bought my book, and she tried the therapy. She tried doing the Shak therapy, but it didn't work for her. So she contacted me through the contacts within the therapy. Turn the sound off on my phone, as you heard a minute ago, it bleeped. So as I went to see this chap, I won't say his name, but he was in a coma. He was being fed through a stent, which was going through his navel. His wife was sat there. She was holding my book. I never knew her. She didn't know me. I didn't know him. And I saw this man in a coma. I'm thinking, whoa, I need people to be able to hear me. I need people to be able to at least look at me. He was he was out of it. He was totally out. The our National Health Service, the NHS in the UK, they normally put people through therapy and then send them on the way. They sent him straight to a home because they deemed that he was beyond therapy, and he would never recover, which I'm thinking, well, they must know what they're talking about. They're the experts. So I had to go to this home under the guise of being a family member, a guest, because the home wouldn't allow me to go in there to do any treatment. So long story short, I did a Shak therapy on this lovely gentleman, and I saw a little bit of rapid eye movement, REM. I thought, oh, I'm getting in there. So I completed a Shak therapy on this chap. I left him still with his eyes closed, but his breathing had changed, which was it was promising. So I told the lovely lady, I said, I'll come back next week. I'll give it 1 week and I'll come back again and we'll do it again. 2 hours later, she sent me a video on WhatsApp. Her husband was sat in a chair drinking a cup of tea with stunned carers looking like. and I went, and I was so shocked. I was amazed at just how powerful it worked for him. And he wasn't even aware that I was there, or so I thought. Now, this lovely man, he's still going through therapy. He's doing physiotherapy. But one thing what happened was we arranged an ambulance to take him from this home back into the curriculum with the NHS. And as he was being put into the ambulance, the manager of the home, the manageress, she looked at me. She said, "That's the first person that's left here alive." And it was so nice. It was lovely to hear that. Anyway, another lady who was in the home had heard what I'd done, and she asked the person who invited me. I can't say the names. I would like to say the names. It'd be easy for me to talk. But she asked the lady that invited me initially if if I would see her husband. Now he'd had what you call a bullet as a bullet impact. It was riding his bicycle, crashed into a car, and he went head first into the windscreen. He'd been in a coma for 12 years. 12 years in a coma. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it's going to work. I had no idea. Every single Shak therapy I do, every one bar none, is an experiment. This is why I've never ever charged a penny for anyone. I don't charge for doing this. So I went to see this man, and his eyes was open, but he was in a coma, and his neck was very, very bent. It was bent right over. For 12 years, his neck was really over like this. It looked quite distorted. And he had these little plastic hand grips inside of his hands to stop his hands getting sores. He was drooling, and his wife, his faithful wife, had been going every single day to help him, just to clean him, to be with him, and the two carers was around the clock with him, moving him about. So I thought, whoa, head, head impact. I don't know. He's been in a coma 12 years. So I did a Shak therapy on him, and I got him from looking like this to looking like this to looking around the room. And I thought, whoa. And his wife said, "It's following me." And his eyes was looking around the room. As she walked, his eyes went like this. So I said to him, I called him by his name. I said, "Would you do me a favor? Will you just give me a thumbs up and let me know that you're back with us?" And he did that. He gave us a thumbs up. It was amazing. The two carers who've been looking after him for years was crying. The wife was crying. I was shocked. I was gobsmacked. And I went back to see him a week later, and his daughter had flown from Australia, and she was sat in this chair alongside of him. He's not talking, he's still looking round at everybody, but he's smiling at things that have been said to him, and he's starting to come back gradually. His daughter picked me up and swung me around, and she said, "I can't thank you enough what you've done." And I didn't really know how to respond to that, to be quite honest, because I'm quite heavy, so she must be very strong. So I left it at that, and a little while later, my friend, the one who initially called me, she contacted me and said, "Oh, the guy you went to see in the coma, uh, he's he's recovering quite well. He's developed pneumonia and is in hospital now being treated for pneumonia." So I'm thinking, yeah, I suppose, but his body's now taking over, and it's kicking back in again. He did recover. I've not spoke to him, never seen him since. I don't know anything about what's happened since, but I do know that he had a massive improvement when I'd left. So shock therapy it does help. It helps a lot of people, and there's naysayers out there, there's disbelievers out there who call me. They just say it's a con, or it's a rip off. It's just after your money. I've never charged a penny. I've never charged a penny to do a shock therapy because everyone I class is an experiment. So who is the shock founder? Well, I'm the shock founder. My name is John Wilson Green. I am now 65 years of age. Oh, even though I may not look it. So yeah, I'm 65 years of age, and I invented shock therapy for my own father in 1986 when he was 49 years of age, and he had a massive stroke. I was taking him to physio, and one particular day, the nurses was bending his arms backwards and forwards, and I just said, "What's the object of doing this?" And she said, "Gradually, the signal will go back up his arm and reattach to the brain." So I said, "Well, we're talking cognitive, but how long does this take?" And she said, "Oh, about 2 years." And then, poof. I said to her, "Well, why can't you just do it direct from the brain?" And she just laughed and said, "Oh, it's impossible." So, as a man who's studied hypnosis and the mind since 1974, when someone tells me it's impossible when it deals with the mind, it's like a red rag to a bull to me. So I sat and worked out some metaphors that would enable me to get into my dad's subconscious. I worked out all these metaphors, and nothing seemed to be working until one day I got a phone call from my auntie who lives in Ferriby, which is on the outskirts of Hull, where I live. Ferriby is a village, and it's alongside the River Humber. And on the other side of the River Humber is a place called Flixborough, and it's a big chemical factory. And in 1974, Flixborough exploded. It blew up completely. We was in our gardens miles and miles and miles away on the other side of the River Humber. It was a sunny day, clear sky. And we just said this thunderclap, and we didn't know what it was. It was the Flixborough explosion. It's world renowned, and it shattered my auntie's windows across the River Humber. So I'm on the telephone talking to my auntie, and she's talking about the Flixborough explosion, and I relate a stroke to an explosion, like a mini explosion in the brain. Poof. And there is a damaged area. Now, all your neural pathways that you've always used are trying to get past this damaged area. And this damaged area it wasn't there before, so your signals were just going through lovely. So you could move your arms and move your fingers. Then boom, there's an explosion. And my auntie's phone call with me gave me an idea for a metaphor, a brilliant idea. So I used the metaphor on my father, and he started twitching and spasming, and all his left side started moving, his arms started moving. After a few days, he was squeezing tennis balls and doing exercises and moving himself, his face lifted up. And I'm thinking, whoa. So we was told 2 years that it would take to recover. My father was back to work in 12 weeks. 12 weeks. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. So I'm thinking, then my dad said to me, why are you restricting this to me? There's people out there what need this. Now, he met those people when he was on physio. I met quite a lot of people, and there was all different levels of damage that was done to it. So, a stroke is unique to the individual. It's like a fingerprint. You're never going to see the same outcome. Now, once you've had a stroke, it causes a domino effect, and that domino effect will sometimes affect the face, the speech, your mind, an arm, a leg. It all depends on how and where the stroke has occurred. So it once this domino effect, and it affects all these things like that. So when you do a Shak therapy, once you correct one thing, the domino effect reverses. It corrects everything. It does it all, brings it all back. And this is the beauty of Shak therapy. And I was amazed on the first few successes that I got with people, and I'm sat there really excited, amazed. They're upset. They're not upset as in bad. They're emotional. They're crying. The wives are hugging them, or the husbands are hugging the wives who've had a stroke. I'm sat there thinking, write notes, write notes. I'm writing these notes. I'm writing the outcomes. But then as I'm starting to write these notes, I'm realizing that everyone's unique. My notes that I wrote didn't fit one person. So I had to experiment and experiment to make Shak therapy as diverse as I possibly can. And I incorporated quite a lot of different things within the therapy, within my experiments to help people recover quicker. And to this day, I'm still experimenting, never charging anyone, but I like to evolve it, help it to evolve into something quicker and better. But at the moment, I'm at an impasse now. I'm at the point where I'm thinking, I personally think I can't really go any further. Then suddenly I'll meet someone else, and then bang, I've gone further. I'm like, whoa, it's ridiculous, but it's great ridiculous. It's fantastic ridiculous. Shak therapy has helped a lot of people, and you people who are watching, the nice people, I do get nice compliments. Then there are the strange people who don't know me, never met me, and they will start to demean me on the comments. And this is what stopped me from making videos. This is what stopped me from showing more videos. These trolls, these horrible, close-minded people made me, as a younger person, feel angry and upset that they was trying to stop other people from having a Shak therapy, or from buying the book or watching the DVD on how to do it. These horrible people um, were just interfering with the nice people. And sometimes the nice people overlooked these bad comments and got in touch with me, which was brilliant. And I helped them. And I love helping people. I really do. It helps me to evolve, and it helps Shak to evolve into something bigger and better. You may wonder why it's called Shak therapy. When I first developed it, I was helping lots of people, and I was asking for more volunteers. And it was called John Green Can Help You. That's what Shak was called. John Green Can Help You. So I'm thinking, I can't keep calling it that, because it needs to be something specific about a specific subject. So I like to look into Latin dictionaries, and I looked through the Latin dictionary and I found the word Shak. And it said Shak means to remedy. And I thought, that's what I do. I help to remedy a bad situation. So I call it Shak Stroke Therapy. It is, well, how can I say it? It's been used a lot now around the world, and I do get some lovely feedback. But some people read the book and maybe they don't understand it too well. Maybe it's not their first language. So they may write, I didn't understand it, but it's laid out pretty well. I don't mind helping those people. If they contact me, I will literally talk face to face with them and help them for free. I don't care. Money isn't it's not about the money. It's about getting this out there and letting more people know about Shak therapy. So I'm gonna stop this recording now because I can just go on and on and on. But my next few recordings will be about actually doing Shak's therapy and being able to implement it. So if you'd like to subscribe and hit the like button and subscribe, the more subscribers I get, the more encouragement I'll be able to make more videos, and I'll start to do demonstration videos as well. I have made a demonstration video in 2009 that sold all over the world, and a lot of people, give me some amazing feedbacks. But I do have an audio as well. The audio was quite surprising. People was buying the Shack DVD, the recording, a video recording, and then as a gift, I sent an audio. And this man contacted me a lot of years ago now. He put a little email to me, and he said, "I didn't tell my wife that I'd bought this. I didn't want her to get any false promises. But what I did was put the audio on and put some headphones on my wife, and she just laid on the bed, and she couldn't walk. She couldn't get up. She couldn't walk. She had a stroke. He had to help her out of the bed, in and out of the bed. About He said my wife listened to the recording and then she started shouting. So he ran upstairs and she said, I can feel the feelings back in my legs again. And she sat herself up and stood up out of the bed with the headphones still on, which yanked off her ears because she was still plugged into the recording device, the playback. It was over the moon. He sent me a letter saying she's up and walking, and that's just through the audio. So the audio has got a lot to answer for as well. I give metaphorical images that the subconscious understands, which help to regenerate and to redirect the neural pathways, trying to get past that damaged area. So there's the damaged area, and then now they'll go around. They'll find different ways round. They don't need to go through there anymore. They can go around. If there's an accident on a motorway and that motorway is blocked and you can't get down the motorway, you will be able to redirect down the other roads, the side roads, and you'll still get to your destination. This is how I help you to understand how you can get from A to B and still be able to move those limbs and be able to speak. So I'll come back with a few more videos, but I'm just getting used to doing this now. I haven't done this for a long, long time. So I do hope I'm not boring you in any form, shape, and way. But thank you for reaching this end. Please like and subscribe. The more subscribers I get, the more it helps this channel, obviously. And I will put more and more videos on here so you will get a better understanding. And just so you know as well, people say that I'm a con man and I'm just after money. When poor countries like India, who can't afford much, they message me and say, I would like to get a copy of your video, but I can't afford it. I send it for free. It's not about the money, it's about helping. But money does help. But the book is on sale, it's on Amazon, and these videos now will also help explain what is in the book and how to do it as well. So thank you for watching this far. My name is John Green. I'm the founder of Shak Therapy, and I'll upload as many videos as you ask me to do. But ask questions as well, and I'll be able to answer your questions within these videos. Thank you so much.